talking about selkies? Because I have a lot of opinions about selkies. So, selkies are this mythical creature originally from Scottish folklore who were seals who could transform into humans, usually, though not necessarily, by removing their seal skin, underneath of which was a human body. There is this incredibly widely told selkie story where a selkie woman removes her seal skin to turn into a human at the seashore, and then a human man, usually a fisherman, steals her seal skin, forcing her to stay on land, and then uses that to force her to marry him. It's very widely told, and I get why it resonates with people, but it bugs the hell out of me that people think that's the only Selkie story, because there is so much more to Selkies. First of all, there's the great Selkie of Sule, Skerry, which it's a folk song. I'm gonna give you the first few lines of it because I think it's beautiful and I like singing it. It goes, "An earthly nurse sits and sings, and she sings, but lily ween. Little ken I my bairnie's father, far less the land that he steps in." With apologies to everybody who actually speaks Scots. That is a story about a woman who has had, a human woman, who has had a child by a male Selkie, who then comes back to take the child away from her back to the sea, which is where the child belongs. But on his way out, he gives this spooky prophecy, which ends up coming true, that this woman is going to go on to marry a harpoon man on a whaling ship, and then her future husband is going to kill both the Selkie and their half-human son. There's also a set of stories called, like, variations on Ursula of Orkney, in which, again, a human woman has had children by a male Selkie, and these stories are very divergent in their particulars, but the thing that I think all of the Ursula of Orkney stories have in common is that the babies are born with webbed feet, and the midwife or somebody has to cut their toes apart with scissors so that they can pass as human, which is so, like, that's a very raw image. Anyway, the seal wife story, where, you know, her skin is stolen and then she has to marry this fisherman, etc., is very widely told because it is a great story and it really resonates with people. I think most obviously as an allegory for marriage in patriarchy. I don't begrudge that story its fame, but, like, for me, the most powerful theme of Selkies as a mythological figure is actually the theme of unbelonging. The thing that all of the Selkies have in common across these stories is that they have to return to the sea. No matter how human they appear to be in human form when they're living on land, they will always be tied to the sea, they will never belong among humans, they will always have to go back, and their children will never be truly human, and their children will always have to go back to the sea. Like, I don't know, growing up as a weird autistic kid with foreign parents who was obviously half foreign everywhere I went, like, I love Selkies. And I think people should know that there's more to Selkies than the seal wife story.